What's happening? What's happening, Steelers Nation? Welcome to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic, live from the Steel basement. And it's time to get into it, man. Don't see too many early commenters. In a way, that's a good thing because I want to dive right into my mini topics. I really want to open the floor and leave a lot of room and a lot of space for phone calls, man. I do this each and every Tuesday, right? For some of you guys that will see this on the replay, or some of you that might be watching now that are new, I do this all the time. I always say, oh man, I want it to be about calls, and I just talk entirely too long. So what I've basically been able to do now, man, the last few weeks, I've been able to kind of really digest the game to a degree so I could do that in a knee-jerk reaction show, and then, you know, don't spend so much time on Tuesday, because I do just want to give a quick recap and a rehash, but I want to leave space and time for the people who want to call in and make this a quicker show in terms of me talking, right? So I am going to do that tonight. I'm definitely am. So with that said, again, hello everybody. Thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I am your host, SimFBallCritic. And we're going to say hello to the early commenters who are here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll always just double check via phone that the stream is, yep, it is live and it's streaming the way it's supposed to. All right, so really quick, man, let's say hello to the infamous Tim. He says, I used to pray for times like this. Man, right? It's crazy. It's very crazy, man. But at the same time, Gotta be very cautious. Gotta be very cautious as we approach the second half of the season. And we kicked it off on Sunday. But shout outs to the infamous Tim, Zori Rivers, the Art Steeler, my man Johnny. What's up, Johnny? Hello, Miss Angie, aka Baby Steeler. Hello, Angie. Gotta say hello to our lovely ladies of Steeler Nation, guys. Lay out the red carpet. Do not wait another moment without saying hello and treating our ladies with care. What's going on, Baby Steeler? Crazy Ron Gaming, Joshua Shields, Steelers Cards, Walter Worthy, Corey B, LG Wall Jr., my good brother Kenyon in the building. Steeler Cards, it's actually already said that. 12 Gauge Hemi, Sonny Rothmiller, the Sports Guru, Dietrich Bundick, my man Mark Cunningham in the building. Drama Seidel. Can I slow down and say it correctly? Drama Seidel. Sonny Rothmiller, Derek Moore. And we will hold off right there. And like I said, we'll get right into the action because I definitely want to leave space for the phone calls. I see there's 2 in the queue. Guys, if you want to call and get things off your mind, off your chest, you want to beat your chest, you want to beat us down in terms of being mad about something you're seeing from the Steelers, coaches, organization, players, whatever, the phone queue is open. And it appears to be working tonight via Blog Talk. Phone number is 619-924-0818. Again, 619-924-0818. For those of you who are watching the stream, phone number is right there on the screen so you can't miss it. All right, man, so I'm going to dive right into my few topics, and then we opening it up to the phones, and then we'll get out of here. So each and every week, I always want to just give you some quick nuggets, some quick takeaways and things of that nature that I took from maybe Tomlin's presser. I did watch it. Again, not a whole lot of detailed information outside of some of the obvious things. You know, he talked about the injuries. He talked about guys like Dante Jackson that doesn't expect to miss time. Maybe slowed a bit, but doesn't expect to miss time. So we'll see, like Tomlin says, how that participation would be the guide. Same could be said for guys like Calvin Austin. He also mentioned that he expects Nick Herbig to be back. He said Nick Herbig was close last week, But I guess they just, played a little precaution there. Smart move when you think about it. I mean, I guess if you already have a Preston Smith, you could allow Nick Herbig to get fully healthy. And then you would bring him back the following week, which is now. But unfortunately, we lose Alex Highsmith. So what a timely trade by the Steelers. So I still wish I knew the reason why. Was it because they felt like they could get a guy like Preston Smith and allow Herbig to recover? Or were they clearly just trying to have a 4-man, pass rush unit? I don't know. But either way, I'm happy that Preston Smith is a Pittsburgh Steeler, because the more the merrier, especially now with Alex Highsmith going down. Now, good news. Good news in terms of Alex Highsmith. I'm going to give a round of applause for the good news, man, about Alex Highsmith. Good news. They're saying it's a low ankle sprain, no structural damage, no broken bones, or anything of that nature. They're talking about an estimated 2 to 3 weeks. So I'm cool with that. I am cool with that. And hopefully TJ Watt and Preston Smith and Nick Herbig can continue to do what they need to do as we await Alex Highsmith coming back. Because I'll be honest in saying this, guys. Of course, TJ is always TJ. But as you saw all game, they're always going to chip TJ. They're always going to double team TJ. They're going to rotate the TJ. They're going to hold TJ. So you always need that force on the other side. We clearly saw the force that Alex Highsmith was bringing back to the table once he returned in the last couple games. So it's definitely unfortunate, man, that he goes down with another injury. But it's football, guys. It's football. It happens to the best of them, right? There's nothing you can do about injuries. Every team deals with them. Let's just be lucky that we're not dealing with any catastrophic injuries, at least at this moment. Knock on wood. Hopefully the Steelers can get through the season pretty clean. Also, Tomlin did talk about the versatility of Cam Sutton. I think we all knew that. I have not had a chance, guys, in a rare situation this week, but I haven't had a chance to rewatch the game yet or review all 22. I will do both very soon in the next day or two. And of course, channel members, I'll be bringing you that content. But I definitely want to take a look and see how we utilize them. Tomlin talked about us utilizing them in multiple different ways. So I want to go back and look at some of those plays, maybe some of the 3 and outs, maybe some of the key defensive stops, and see how Cam Sutton was used. And I want to kind of look at it and see how often he was in, how often Beanie Bishop was out, how often maybe both of those guys were on the field. So I definitely want to pay attention to little things like that. But outside of that, guys, listen, what else did Tomlin say? I wanted to talk about the fake punt. Definitely wanted to talk about that. Tomlin expounded on that. And for those of you that don't know, Tomlin pretty much, continued to say what I said post-game, right? He took accountability for it. And hold on, guys, I'm just checking something. So, I always want to apologize to you guys when you see me looking down or looking away from the camera. Just checking something real quick. Okay, there we go. It looked like the stream has sputtered a little bit, so I was just making sure it didn't. He basically took the blame after the game, right? And that's something that Coach Tomlin has always done. He's always taken the blame. He's always done that. He's going to protect his staff. He's going to protect his players. You got to respect that, and I'm not just going to say that specific to Mike Tomlin. I think any head coach, any good head coach should do that. So I just appreciate Tomlin doing that. But if you did see his presser, he went on to expound on that and basically say what I said after the show, not just me, but anybody else that, could kind of, not even going to say have a football mind, but any of you guys here in the chat that just paid attention to the Steelers over the years and just kind of understand how some things work. He clearly explained how this is something that they've been practicing. He said they've even practiced this all the way back in the summer, right? And they knew that they could get certain looks. He kind of said because it was Washington, they kind of had an idea that they might get an opportunity. He also said a second piece of that. He said, and P.S., yeah, I did want to kind of set the tone, but also he definitely confirmed that it wasn't a call that came from the sideline. It wasn't a, hey, we're going to fake it on 4th and 16. It was basically repping it. Matter of fact, James Pierre said he had caught it in practice all week. So it was a check. It was a check call that the special teams unit, punt team unit had the autonomy to make that call. Hey, you get the right look, do it. That was in the plan. So I just wanted to make sure everybody understood that it wasn't a situation that, oh, why did Mike Tomlin go for that? No, it wasn't an in the moment thing. It was more so, we've repped this, we've practiced this, this works. If you get the look, you know what to do. And unfortunately, James Pierre just didn't catch it. It worked to perfection in terms of the execution of what you wanted to happen, right? He just didn't catch the ball. So at that, again, I'm just doubling down on what I said. I am not mad at that call at all. Hey, I like us being aggressive. And then Mike Tomlin also finished it up by saying, hey, that's the reason why I took the blame for it after the game. So he basically said, yeah, I took the blame for it, but it's not like something we just called on the spot. We repped it. We've been repping it. I gave my guys the autonomy to make the call if it was there. Excuse me. It was there. We made the call. He said we actually have guys in the back, that can throw. And he said we want to make defenses and teams penalize, we want to penalize them for giving us certain looks. That's what they teach. So I'm not mad at the call. It just didn't work because, James Pierre had the butterfingers. So I just wanted to expound on that, man. Had it worked, we all would have been going crazy. But like I said, coaches always get the blame when something doesn't work. And maybe they get too much credit when things do work. But when you know the ins and outs and the details, you can properly assess the situation. All right. Outside of that, guys, I do have an apology to give to a player. I have an apology. And I have to sit here and say, guys, and I have to be a man. And when you're wrong, you're wrong. And I have to apologize for someone. And this is the reason why I enjoy the way I do these shows. This is the reason why I like doing the knee-jerk reaction show, which is literally the knee-jerk reaction. You're just reacting to what you see in real time. And this is also the reason why I tell you guys, I usually sometimes have a different opinion when I learn information or I rewatch the game, and especially when I rewatch the film. And I come on here and I explain to you where I may have been wrong, where I may have missed something, or where I may be able to confirm something that I thought. But here it is, guys. I have to apologize to one Broderick Jones. Yes, and I said Broderick Jones. He has his name back. In fact, it's been reported by PFF, whether you agree or disagree with them, didn't give up any pressures or hits, harries, or sacks. So I said to myself, well, wait a minute. I do recall us giving up about 3 sacks. One of them, Louisville, got Russell Wilson. Louisville is going to blitz from up the middle. But then I definitely remember Fowler. Fowler was having a day, right? And I told Kenyon and Tony, I said, you know what? In light of this news, I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch those plays. So you know what I did when I got home this evening? As I was eating dinner, I watched the first series, our second offensive series. I watched the touchdown. And then I said, let me go look at these 3 sacks. I'm here to tell you guys, those sacks were not on Broderick Jones. PFF was right. I feel you, Walter. I don't always agree with them either. That's why I went to go look for myself. Those sacks by Dante Fowler were not on Broderick Jones. And for you guys that are channel members, I will show you that footage. I will definitely show you that footage when we look at some of the all 22. It was not on Broderick Jones. As a matter of fact, and shout outs to Steelers Depot, they even went as far as saying that Broderick Jones had the best game of his career. So for that alone, their assessment, PFF's assessment, and me watching the 3 sacks myself, Broderick Jones, I apologize to you, sir. And you have your name back. The only thing I would hope that you do, Mr. Jones, is keep your name. We do not want to call you number 77 anymore this season. And we definitely don't want to call you 77, because if we call you 77 and we don't even give you the respect of saying number, you really playing in the toilet. Donation. My apologies, sir. Oh, we got some Wonder Bread. Round of applause to Jamar Sanders, man. Appreciate the donation. Jamar says, thank you, Sim. Big Broderick was great. Not gonna lie. He was, man, at least on those plays, right? So again, when I watch the game again in full, I'll definitely be able to look at his performance, but they are reporting that he didn't give up a hurry, a hit, or a sack, or a pressure. Got to give him credit. Now, other than that, guys, really quick, the only thing else I got on the game, man, great game, man. There were a couple missed opportunities out there, of course. Washington, I'm sure, could say the same thing, man, but I was really pleased at how that game unfolded, even if the Steelers would have lost, right? I told you guys I wanted to see the litmus test, and that was a good one. I wanted to see how we played against a team like that, a team that had ran no huddle more than any other team, a team that, was able to put up points and able to convert when they're in the red zone. Have been very successful. Well, hold on. Let me interrupt myself. Well, I'm not. There's certain people here that I said I'm just not going to reply to, so I'm not. Have your feelings, but it's always an opposing thing. I'll just leave it. But yeah, man. I was really pleased at how they played. And again, I'm sure somebody's going to find something to complain about. I'm sure. Some of us here at Steeler Nation are never satisfied. It's always something to complain about. Me, largely, as I was watching the game with Leonard, pop. And my good brother, Trent, we were watching the game. Trent is a Redskins. Excuse me. I'm sorry, YouTube. My bad. Commanders. I'm sorry. I did not mean to say that name because I know how sensitive YouTube is. I'm sorry. But come on, man. The name is ingrained in a lot of us. The Commanders. But it was a good game, man. And as we got into the fourth quarter, I said, okay, I can't be upset at how this game goes, because unlike some, I don't expect every game to be a win. I just don't, guys. I'm realistic. But I wanted to see how we played against a good team, and I saw, and we were able to get the victory. One other thing I did want to talk about, I just want to mention it because I want to give her credit. Shout outs to Debbie. Haven't had a chance to fully dive in. She sent me an email, and I literally just saw it a few minutes ago before I started the show. But she wanted me to take a look at, and great, excellent work, man. Debbie gave me screenshots and everything. She said she had been watching some film, and she had an idea as to why maybe some of the throws have missed. And she talked about wide receiver spacing. and how these guys were lined up and how the routes ended up being ran. I'm going to dive deeper into that email because I just glanced at it, but I want to mention that here. So in case you guys want to go look at some film from previous games, but Debbie may be on to something because like I told you guys, our lady listeners don't just listen. These ladies are very informative. They know what they're talking about. They dive into film. They are invested as fans, right? So that's why I always want to respect them with the utmost respect. But she might be on to something. So I'm definitely going to review the information she sent me, see if I can identify some of those things as well. But that's very good intel by our own Debbie. We appreciate that. So I just wanted to at least mention that. Other than that, man, like I said, great game. I can't really complain about much. I mean, again, there were some ups, there were some downs, but you played a good game, man, against a good team. And you prevailed on the road, I might add. On the road. So, excellent stuff. But outside of that, guys, really quick before we get into the phone calls, y'all already know what it is. Y'all already know what time it is. I hope you guys are ready, because I'm ready. And I have a few of them to dish out. So if you're ready, let's get to it. And let's jump right into what I like to call the big head moment. All right, the big head moment. We got a couple. We got a couple big hat moments. Hopefully I don't miss one. But again, you know, it's not designed for me to get each and every one. I mean, it's all subjective. Some of you guys, you know, may think this, may think that. This is, you know, just my big hat moment, right? Maybe you'll agree, maybe you'll disagree. And hey, feel free to put in the chat anyone else that you think deserves it and say why. And I'll be happy to shout them out. So first on the list, I'm going to give Russell Wilson and Mike Williams a big hat moment. Reason being, and they're kind of honorable mention, but these were big. This was a big, significant moment in the game. You know, some might consider it the walk-off touchdown, which is not really a walk-off, but it was the game-winning touchdown. Got to give credit to Russell Wilson for still being able to throw that moon ball that he's been known for. And Mike Williams, man, just coming in. I mean, this guy's fresh. I mean, right off the street. And able to contribute. I love what he said in his post-game conference when he said, you know, Calvin had been running that route. I was prepared. You know, I ran the route. I didn't even know if the ball really was coming. I just ran it. I looked up. When I seen it coming, I made a play. That's all you can ask for from a receiver. But it gave us a glimpse of, again, what teams might have to be fearful of. Opposite George Pickens. Another guy with size, with speed, with ball awareness, with 50-50 ball ability. That could make the Steelers dangerous in play action. Very dangerous. And you got to give credit to Russell Wilson for putting the ball out there. Hey, 3 touchdowns. Okay? 3 touchdowns. Yeah, you know, I've seen some people complaining about the numbers, but dog, how many games has Lamar Jackson won when his numbers weren't gaudy, but it was the things that he did in timely moments? And it's funny I talk about Lamar because we're about to face him, and in no way, shape, or form am I comparing the two, so don't do that. Don't twist my words. I'm just saying it doesn't always matter. It doesn't always matter that you throw for 500 yards. If I recall, I think this past week, Kirk Cousins threw for 400 and something and they lost. So I don't really care about the numbers. Some people get too stuck on the numbers. Yeah, but he only threw for 196. That's all he had to throw, but he threw 3 touchdowns. So that's why I'm giving Russell Wilson an honorable mention as well, because that throw that he made to Mike Williams was right on the money. Beautiful moon ball. And Mike Williams comes in there and does his thing. And for that, both of them get a tip of the big hat. Well, next on the list, the next person who will be a recipient of the big hat moment, none other than Patrick Queen. Man, oh man. And I'm going to be brief with this one because this is what I want to say. Go see it for yourself. But trust me when I tell you that Patrick Queen deserves a big hat moment. Patrick Queen is starting to play like the guy that we paid. Let me explain this though. Again, I think a lot of people pay too much attention to numbers, right? A lot of people are not going to give Patrick Queen his just due because he's not a splash playmaker, right? He's not picking the ball off like Ryan Shazier started to do in his prime. And that's what many people are looking for. But when you think about it, that's not always what you're looking for from an inside linebacker. Yeah, you're looking for, but what I mean is that's not always what defines if they're playing great. What defines if they're playing great, particularly in our scheme, is tackles, making tackles at the line of scrimmage, playing sideline to sideline, showcasing your speed. And that is something that Patrick Queen is doing. Go look at the game again if you don't believe it. Go look at the game again. Dog, Patrick Queen out there playing, man. He had another good game. Patrick Queen deserves a tip of the big hat. Absolutely. Hey, if you don't want to believe me, go check out Baldy's Breakdown on Twitter or X, whatever they call it now. Go check it out. Patrick Queen was out there getting busy showcasing that speed. A tip of the big hat, my brother. All right. We have one more. The last and final. Let's do it right now. There's one more person that we are going to bless with the big hat moment. George Pickens. George Pickens was going to get a big hat moment just for that one touchdown catch. I have repeatedly said this. Some agree, some disagree. This is my personal opinion. George Pickens is one of the best pure catchers that I have seen watching football. Let me qualify my statement. The ease in which he catches the ball, the effortlessness in which he catches the ball, the smoothness in which he catches the ball, where it looks like it's not hard to him. The body control, the way he can contort his body, the way he adjusts to the ball, soft hands. This guy is ridiculous. His hands are just, he makes the hard stuff look easy. Like, think about the ones when he just catches and he's just holding it like this as he's getting hit. The control. That's my opinion, man. And you saw it again, guys. You saw it in three different facets in this game. The touchdown, the sideline catch, the yak on that 30-something yard slant. Like, this guy, that's the thing. GP also has yak. You know what I mean? Not only does he do all of that wonderful stuff, the dude is a yak machine. George Pickens is incredible, man. He's incredible. That's all I got to say about that. Incredible. So for that, GP, you, my friend, a tip of the big hat. All right. I thank you guys for tuning in to that segment. And that concludes what I like to call the Big Head Moment. All right. Excuse me. So, all right, guys, I'm ready for some phone calls, man. I tried to do that as fast as I could. 30 minutes, and I'm in and I'm out. Let's get to the phone calls. Let's see what we got. Let's see if we got any calls in the queue. Allergies bothering me, guys. As you can see, my eye is a little watery there. A tad bit of swell right there. Let's get to it, guys. We have 4 in the queue. Y'all know the routine. Keep it short if you can. Well, I'm not even going to say if you can. Keep it short and sweet. Let's do it, man. First up in the queue, area code 443. What you got for us?
What's good, Sim? Good evening, everyone. Good evening to all the ladies in the chat. I'm just going to confirm for you, man, that Broderick Jones had his best game of the season. I can confirm that because I was up close and personal at the game, sitting right behind the Steelers bench, so I seen all of it. I didn't really cheer because I wanted to see and pay attention to who did what. So I paid attention to the game fully, and the refs kind of kept Commanders in the game, to be honest with you, man. That's no bias. There were multiple blatant hold calls on TJ they didn't call, multiple blatant hold calls on Highsmith that they didn't call. And there was 2 field goals that should have been blocked, that would have been blocked if they called the holding call. One was on Porter, dude blatantly hooked him. Referee standing right there, he didn't call it. And 2 was on Deontay Jackson. 2 blatant hooks, the ref didn't call it. At the TV timeout, both of them was talking to the refs about it. The ref was pretty much patting him on the back, like apologizing. So it could have been like 7 points taken off the board. One PTA attempt and then 2 field goal attempts that should have been blocked. And you could have gave Keanu Benton a big out moment. And the reason why I'm saying that is because on a QB draw, he blatantly by himself tackled Daniels that could have ran for like 25 yards. Appreciate you taking my call, man. The game was exciting. That's what we do. Have a good night.
Man, thank you for the call and thank you for the reminder. Yes, Keanu Benton. I'm not going to put on the big hat, but let's throw Keanu Benton an honorary Big Head Moment. Yes. Thank you for reminding me. Man, was that a huge play. And I meant to talk about that, guys, and I completely forgot. I didn't put it in my notes. Huge. In case you guys don't remember what he's talking about, it was the draw play. I want to say it was in the 4th. And Daniels attempted to take off, man, and Keanu Benton sheds his block and makes the tackle right at the line. I think Daniels might have been credited for a yard gain, maybe 2. And he had room to run, bruh. He had room to run. Huge. But you're absolutely correct, sir. The holding, it's getting ridiculous now. It's getting ridiculous. And the one, if I'm not mistaken, on the TV tape, it was the one that Dante Jackson got slung down. He gets up, looks at the ref, and the ref hit him with this. Y'all saw that? He hit him with the... Dog, come on, man. Y'all looking right at it. And I'm seeing too much of this, guys, across the league, not just the Steelers. Across the league. I don't understand what these refs are doing. If you watch other games, they are just completely missing or blowing calls that's right in front of them. Pathetic. But yes, we give Broderick Jones his name and his flowers, man. So I can't wait to watch it again. All right, guys. Next up, area code 318. What you got for us?
Whoa, what's up, Bonk? How you doing tonight, man? Excuse me.
Good. What's going on, brother?
First of all, what's up? First of all, I got to show love to both teams. Two playoff-worthy teams throwing blow for blow. A couple pointers. Unsung play. we're not talking about, I think, that Cam Hayward sack, I want to say late in that fourth quarter. I want to say it was a drive before we scored, or I can't remember like what drive it was, but it was a big sack. They was kind of driving down the field, and Cam Hayward made a big sack. That was a big play. And like you said about George Pickens, bro, the hands, bro. I said it before. I don't know if you remember. He catch the ball like he holding up a baby, man. And it's his God-given talent, That's what's up. He's a Steeler, man. He got Steeler written all over him, just physical and nasty. And I feel like a solution with these refs too, man. Start finding these refs, man. They'll get it right once they start hitting them pockets. I bet you that. But just bad calls all over. I feel on both sides, but man, T.J. Watt had a bad one in there. I want to say for a safety, bro. It was just ignorant, just horrible. But y'all have a great night. That's all I got on.
Oh man, how could I forget the T.J. Watt one? And also, again, guys, this is why we family. And see, had I rewatched the game, I would have remembered. I didn't have time yesterday. Cam, let's give Cam a quick honorary big head moment. And I don't even want to say honorary. You are correct. Those 2 sacks, but that one, it was one that was major in the second half. And again, this dude, man, what I love so much about Cam Hayward, let me just tell y'all really quick. Y'all probably have heard me say this. Cam Hayward is one of my favorite Steelers of all time. You can argue that. You can have a different opinion, but I have favorite Steelers for different reasons. For who they are, who they appear to be as men, who they appear to be on field, the effort they give each and every time, the example that they set, the embodiment of the Steeler way. Cam Hayward is one of my favorites. Hines Ward was one of my favorites. And if you want to talk about person and just an out of this world athlete, Troy Polamalu, of course. But there's certain people that I just were favorites of mine just because of the way they were. I'll even say Ben. Because when Ben's tenacity on that field, man, was something different. So I say those examples of other players because I want you to understand why, outside of just Cam's talent, because let's not forget, Cam is moving on up that list too of total sacks. Cam is that dude, man. Still, he's proven to people why he was worthy of the extension. I'm going to just call it what it is. Cam has done something in every game like he does in every game. Still. Shout out to my guy, Cam Hayward. How could I forget the 2 sacks? But that 1 sack was big. Appreciate you reminding us of that, man. All right, next up, guys, area code 302. What you got for us?
Hey, Sim, I'm going to keep this brief. I didn't really get to talk about it when it happened because Block Talk obviously wasn't working. But I really think this offseason is one to remember for the Steelers front office because, as fans, we've been complaining about, why didn't the Steelers try and trade for this player, or why didn't they try and trade for that player? I understand that, we didn't get necessarily all these players, but we apparently were talking to the Rams, 3 months before they even said Cooper Kupp might be available. We were talking to the Rams about trying to make a trade to get him. I don't know if you heard, but apparently we called up Seattle and tried to offer something for DK Metcalf. We made an offer for Brandon Ayuk. We made an offer for, Devontae Adams and all these other receivers because we obviously had a hole at receiver. And the Steelers they've been really aggressive in trying to fill the holes on this roster. I think something happened at practice or whatever and showed Mike Tomlin and the defensive staff that we might need, more depth on the edge. And we went out and we got a Preston Smith. We weren't even as fans thinking about getting more edge help. But look, it helped us out because without Preston Smith, who knows how that last game went. And that's really all I wanted to say is, shout out to the organization and, the front office and Mike Tomlin. Don't forget Mike Tomlin for all you haters.
Man, I appreciate that call. Thank you so much. And you're right. It's easy because, you hear me say it on a weekly basis. And sometimes, guys, as fans, we all can fall into it a bit. But I bring myself out of it really quick. I'm always here defending the organization or defending coaching decisions, because there's so much more that goes into it than we think as guys who are, Monday morning quarterback. You know what I mean? The organization clearly were trying to do something. That's why I always laugh when us fans will say, why they ain't go get him? Why they ain't try to trade for that guy? Why didn't they sign him? Why didn't they draft? Y'all don't know the ins and outs. Clearly they was trying to make a move for a wide receiver. They landed one, and they've done a great job so far with the pieces that they have acquired. But what I really want to give them credit for, and what my man really reminds me of, is, guys, we looking at the new age Steelers, and we've been looking at them the last couple years in terms of front office. Omar Khan and Whitell and Tomlin and whoever else. You know what I mean? They are more aggressive. They are more about the now and not sitting back on their hands. I love that approach. Let's play. If you want to play, you got to play like everybody else. You can't have that old archaic style anymore in terms of approach. Not even just talking about on field, just approach. You have to play the game that everybody else is playing if you want to compete. And it's paying dividends so far, it would appear. And yes, I do agree with some of you guys in the chat. Like Kenyon said, Roman Wilson, guys, let's not forget. Let's not forget. I think Roman Wilson is going to be another dog for us. Let's not forget. It's just unfortunate that he's going through his bumps right now. I'm going to say this. I'm praying that Roman Wilson is more of a Corey Trice than he is a Sinquez Golson. And you guys will understand what I mean by that. I hope it's just red shirt rookie year. Unfortunately, got caught up with some injuries, but he'll be able to come back and play. Now, I don't want him to mimic Corey Trice and get hurt again, but you understand what I'm saying, the analogy. I hope it's just, tough season. Maybe a Calvin Austin. Calvin Austin went through so that is the better example. I hope Roman Wilson is more of a Calvin Austin than a Sinquez Golson. And that's all I'm going to say. Because I think there is something there with that kid. Let's not forget what he was in college. All right, next up. Area code 202. What you got for us?
Yes, this is Jay calling from L.A. I have to say the consistency of what I've been saying, and not to toot my own horn, has come to fruition. I spoke it in position, and here it is. And I was always saying that, Russell Wilson was the guy. All right? He was the guy. I don't know why people were throwing him away, because he got a bad deal dealing with a punk in Denver, as Sean Payton. And here at L.A., they wanted him to coach out here. And I'm glad L.A. got the coach that they have. But anyway, with that being said, I think the new age Pittsburgh Steelers is here to stay. And I would say Omar Khan deserves a lot of credit, because he is the new age, and he is the epitome of that. And I think he's even better than the previous GM, in my humble opinion. And the other thing I'm consistent with is that the criticism that, Tomlin had received for that fake punt, I'm like, if James Pierre would have borrowed, PG, hands, maybe he would have caught the ball. But doggone, man, ball was right there. But it was executed perfectly. Just one guy didn't come through. So, football is an all-team sport. Everybody has to come through. I couldn't understand why those calls were not called, because of, our special team is the best. I know Kansas City did what they did, but we have to say, biasly, we are the best special team in the whole entire league. So I have to say, give my hats off to a game well played. We didn't play against a rookie, because he doesn't play like one. But we have to also step it up a little bit more this coming week. So hats off to everything, and I want to keep it all positive. That's all I have.
Man, I appreciate your call, Jay, man. Really, really. I'm going to give you a round of applause for that call, because you said a lot. Yes, absolutely. Round of applause, man. You said so much that I agree with. I don't even know what point to hit on. let's talk about who we played against. Because that's kind of where I was going to go as we round up the show here a bit. Listen, I said that Washington would be the litmus test. Well, come this week, this is the test, right? This is the test. This ain't a test to see how you measure up. I think playing Washington showed us, let me put it to you in this analogy. How the Steelers played against Washington and were able to win that game, even with a botched fake punt and gifting them a touchdown, and we still overcame that and found a way to win, still put up points, still scored 3 touchdowns, still scored more than what I said the Steelers need to score. I said the Steelers probably need to score between 21 and 24 a game. We outperformed that and won against a good team. And like Mike Tomlin said, that, and again, and guys, if you want to know why I have that title in the title of the video and the thumbnail, well, I can play off of that now. Mike Tomlin said that we like to be the firemen and extinguish the hot teams. And that's why I said, hey, the Steelers are trying to act like the new firemen. Did not realize that Washington was the highest rated no huddle team in all of these different things that they've done well as far as points and red zone and fourth downs and whatever, all these executions by their part. And we came in there and we kind of minimized. We minimized Jaden Daniels. And like my man Jay said, that boy ain't playing like no rookie. The boy's playing very seasoned and poised. And we went in there and did what we had to do. So let me get back to my point. That game is the game that makes me feel like the Steelers can get to the playoffs. The Ravens game, whether it's this one or next, will give me more confidence on whether or not the Steelers can win a playoff game. So understand what I'm saying. Litmus test, Washington. The test, Baltimore Ravens. If the Steelers beat the Ravens, preferably this week, or if they split, and it might even be any better, if they went and won in Baltimore, but if they beat Baltimore, that would be the contest, and I would say, yeah, I think we actually might win a playoff game this year. It's possible. That's how I feel about that. Now, let me say this, a couple things about the Ravens real quick, then I'll come to the chat. They can score a lot of points. I'm not going to get caught up in that whole, well, Lamar's never had a good game against us. Well, you know what they say when you say never. There's a such thing as somebody being due, so let's not jinx that. But I don't believe in that. I think we've had a good game plan for him, but listen, Lamar Jackson is not the same Lamar Jackson. I'll talk a little bit more about this in the before play video. But Lamar Jackson, I'll get right back to the point here in a moment. I got to give love and a shout out to my man, Y Diggy. Thank you, brother, for the Wonder Bread donation. Appreciate that. Y Diggy says, this was an important win. Not because Washington is good, but the way we won. Fell behind by double digits, and in previous years, that would have been an L. Could not say it any better. You are absolutely right. And again, Y Diggy, against the team with the capability that they have, we came back and won that. Could not say that statement any better. So that did raise my eyebrows a little bit, like looking at that team like, oh, okay. You guys are outperforming what I thought we were at week 6. Never mad at that. So getting back to what I want to say about the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson is a real quarterback now. Did you hear me? Testing. Hello. Did y'all hear me? Lamar is a real quarterback now. In many years prior, we always said, oh, let's make him one-dimensional. Lamar is a real quarterback now. He doesn't miss as many throws. Accuracy has improved. Buys all kinds of time in the world, and you still got to worry about him taking off and running. But we'll see how we play them. But if we win that game, that's going to give me more confidence to think, Steelers could get in the playoffs and maybe win a game. But I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm not going to get overly emotional right now. I'm not going to, look at this 7-2 and be like, yeah, we're going to the playoffs. Guys, it's still a long way to go. Well, we got 8 more games. Yeah, we got 8 more. Yeah, it's a long way to go. We got all of the division games. Now, one would imagine, right? Let's just say this. You never want to count anything, but one would imagine that the Steelers win 10 games, right? You would imagine that would happen. And the easiest way to do that is if you just split, if you just split the divisional games, if you go 3-3, there's 10 wins. So you would imagine that 10 wins are going to get them to the playoffs when you look around the league. But I'm not getting overly hyped about it. I'm not going to be overly confident, guys. This is still a long way to go. You cannot discount the Bengals in terms of beating the Steelers because they have the capability. You definitely cannot discount the Ravens. And hey, you can't even discount the Browns who beat the Ravens. It's divisional football. But if the Steelers win this game, man, I'm looking at us a little differently as far as our chances. Because right now, I still feel like the Ravens are the team. However, let me say this very clearly. However, but looking at that Ravens-Bengals game, boy, the Ravens' pass defense is very suspect. I did not know that they were 32nd. That's crazy. If I'm not mistaken, and I didn't look at the stats, and I'm just listening to the commentators. I'm being honest. I don't look and dive into other teams. I just kind of briefly see it. I don't pay attention to them as the way I do us. But if I'm not mistaken, they said in that game that the Ravens was number 1 against the run and dead last against the pass. And Kyle Hamilton is out. I mean, I'd be surprised if he plays looking at how he looked after the game. And if he does play, he's compromised. So that means we can pass the ball on them. The kid Stevens is kind of the liability. So we might be able to score on them. So I'm more so concerned with how we play them defensively, but I don't think I'm concerned at scoring points against them. So that gives us a better opportunity to beat the Ravens. But if we get that done, like I said, whether it's this week or when we go to Baltimore, I'll feel better about what Pittsburgh might be able to do. And that's how I'm going to leave it. Way too early to call it. I mean, you would expect a 7-2 team to find a way to win 3 games. And like I said, 10 wins, I believe, gets you in the playoffs. We got tiebreakers on some of these other teams like the Chargers and the Broncos who might, the Chargers looking like they're turning it around. But if we finish with the same record, we got the tiebreaker on them. So that's why I'm looking around the league. 10 wins will get you there. But this schedule is mean, bro. Let's not act like it's not. And that's all I got. So I'll wrap it up with that. I'll spend a few minutes here with you guys. I think we did excellent timing tonight, man. Yeah, give me your thoughts really quick, man, and I'll chop it up with you guys for a second. Real G Lee says, this is something about when Jackson plays us. He tries to do too much. I think that's because Jim Harbaugh hates us so much and is trying to win for him. Yeah, maybe. But I just think maybe we have had a good game plan. Who knows? Robert Road? Is that Road or Roadie? He says, contain. Make Lamar a passer only. He has gotten better at passing, but you can't let him be a dual threat. Robert, I do not disagree with that at all. Like I said, I'll talk a little more about the game plan on the before play video. I have to try to get that done Friday, guys, because I'm telling y'all right now, I'll tell y'all now because most of you guys watch Tomlin Tuesday as opposed to my before play video. the next couple of weeks and weekends are going to be dicey for me, man. My son, my 11-year-old is on 2 basketball teams now. I told you guys last week, he made his school team, which he didn't make last year. And he made what's known as one of the best AAU teams in our area. He made that team, didn't make it last year. We had him in training. He's come a long way. He's really locking into his skill now. But because of that, he's on 2 teams. First tournament is this week in Philly. And he has another tournament next week. But I say all that to say, for the next several weekends, I might not even be able to see the game in real time because of these tournaments. So even my post-game shows will probably be later on Sunday, depending on, you know what I mean? I think, when we play Cleveland next Thursday, shouldn't affect anything. But yeah, it's going to be dicey, and I'm going to keep reminding you guys of that. But I say all that to say, man, if you guys were looking for a replay or the knee-jerk reaction show, a lot of times, depending on if they have a game on Sunday or what time the game is, I may not be able to come to you right away. I'll probably be watching the condensed version of the game to see what happened and then do the show. But yeah, I'm going to be quite busy. But I just thought I would say that aside really quick. What else y'all got? But yeah, I agree with what Robert said, man. Got to contain them. And you cannot let that run game get going. Like I said, Lamar is a better passer, but I would rather force him to pass, allow us to get some pass rush, maybe some good coverage, as opposed to letting him and Derrick Henry just still, take the show over. I can't do that. Steeler card says Steelers will be fine. Warren will be back, and you can get one of the Ohio State running backs in the third
90
round. Okay.
seconds.
Oh, my bad. Letting you guys know that I'm about to cut off Blog Talk Radio because, as you can hear, it's counting down. So I'm about to shut that down for the evening. One second. And I appreciate everybody.
Using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
Appreciate everybody who tuned in, man, via Blog Talk. And we're only going to be a few more minutes. Let me get back to it here. Lamar throws across the middle to the tight end. He doesn't throw well to the numbers. Why everyone act like we don't own the Ravens? Ravens know what it is. Well, again, double back. Listen, that's just not a good way to approach anything, man. To borrow from Mike Tomlin, last year is last year. Previous games are previous games. Like I am in no way, shape, or form gonna act like that and say we own them. Okay, we've played well against Lamar, but that does not mean that Lamar Jackson can't have a game against the Steelers. That's all I'm saying. But I feel what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm not gonna get lost in thinking that it can't happen. Let's see. Derek Moore says, I love what Russ gives us pre-snap. Man, it feels good to be not so predictable. Y'all remember I knew they was going to run that play. Yeah. Right? Again, the only thing that's predictable to me, man, is when Arthur Smith goes into that jumbo set and single back and runs into the 8-man box. I mean, he will do that until he's blue in the face, but he has largely been a nice addition as the offensive coordinator. It's just, I just wish sometimes, man, he would spread it out a bit and run. You don't tip off the run so easily. How about that? Let's see what else y'all got. The Master of Music says, that was then, this is now. Don't take anyone lightly. Absolutely not. Especially not anybody with Lamar Jackson's skill. We just can't get fooled like that, man. Don't set yourself up and don't set those expectations for the Steelers in case they lose the game. Don't come on here saying, oh man, they should have. Dog. Not only is it any given Sunday, it's the Baltimore Ravens who are, when they're hot, they're hot. So don't psych yourself up by thinking about what we've done in the past against him. RG Lee says, he is still Lamar. And we stop Henry and contain Lamar in the pocket, he will make mistakes. Okay. Last week they lost contain and he scampered around the end. A few seconds later, he was in the end zone. Yeah. So I kind of like what Real G Lee is saying here. That's different from him saying how we're going to stop him. He's speaking from his assessment of Lamar. He's saying Lamar is still Lamar, meaning that if you take away the comfort, he may try to do too much and make a mistake. I could live with that assessment as opposed to saying what the Steelers are definitely going to do because of what we did in the past. Totally different. Real Fact says Queen and Deshaun should benefit us a bit. They are familiar with their looks offensively. Yep, very true point. Mark Cunningham talking to Kenyon, but I agree. He says, yo, Kenyon, the toss play in this offense is like Matt Canada's jet sweep. Absolutely. Absolutely. Doubleback says, we run well behind Washington. He takes his man out of the play every down. Remember when Najee ran left and you said the Raiders game and caught in the trash, Washington pushed him forward for another 10 yards. Yeah, man, Donald Washington is doing some things too that's kind of unsung. And speaking of Najee, I wanted to say this. Thank you, Doubleback, for reminding me before I get out of here. For you guys that have the ability to go back and watch the game, first quarter, 9 minutes and 22 seconds left. Myself and Leonard were watching the game and Najee ran left and we both was like, why didn't he go to the right? Rewatching the TV tape, I can't wait to see it on the 22. Dog, I don't know what Najee was seeing on that play. The hole on the right side was, to say it was big is an understatement. And he's looking this way and then he cuts left. And I'm like, did he not see? It was wide open. Go check it out. It's at the 9 minute and 22 second mark of the first quarter. And Najee still has a tendency, this vision, every now and then. I think his vision has improved this year because I've highlighted that on the show. But there's still these moments when it's like, what did he see there? Now, again, we're not in the helmet. Again, guys, I played the running back position. You don't see everything. I get it. But some of those things, it's like when he's looking straight, you should be able to see both. So it's almost like, I wonder in some of these scenarios, is he anticipating a block because of who's blocking? Because you do that sometimes too. You develop a chemistry with your offensive line, and sometimes you kind of know, like Le'Veon Bell kind of knew how the blocks were going to develop. So he was so patient, then he hit it. So maybe Najee is doing that. I don't want to just say he has bad vision, but I wish I knew, I wish I could be, for my own knowledge, in that film study and say, what did you see here? Because the hole on the right side is so big. Dog, that was a 10-yard gain. Easy. But I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, man. Deontay Johnson is a Raven. But, depending on how they're going to use him, man, I don't think Deontay is going to get a lot of burn, man. I think it's hard for him to take some of those other guys who are working and who are Lamar's targets off the field. He's not going to take Zay Flowers off the field. He might not even take Bateman off the field because of the chemistry. They're still going to work the ball to Andrews and likely, Deontay might make a play here and there, but I'm not sure he'll be a big part of the plan. He actually made a mistake in that Ravens game, if you guys watched it. We got Wonder Bread really quick, so we'll take that and we'll wrap up. Round of applause, man. Thank you so much, Will.i.am, for the donation. I'm laughing at Walter Worthy. Will.i.am says, how about our fan base and how we travel? Man, we haven't had a road game yet. Prediction for this weekend, I see us winning 24-20 in a thriller. I wouldn't even say that you're wrong with that prediction, man. These games seem to always be close and one team seems to edge the other, so I could possibly see that. I could see it the other way as well, man. Again, we're really going to have to be on our P's and Q's with the Ravens. I think Tomlin said it perfectly today, man. Not only is Derrick Henry a big back, but you can't lose contain. You can't not tackle him at the second level. And I mean, if he gets to the linebackers, he has to get down. If he gets past that, The boy can house it at his size. It's amazing that he's been able to do that in his career, but still doing it at 30. Cannot lose contain with him or Lamar. So it's really going to come down to how we play. I think if the Steelers can play stout defense, can we score with them? I do think that. I do think that now. So a 24-20 is possible, but it's all going to depend on how we are playing defensively. That's what it's going to come down to. That's what it's going to come down to. Yeah, that's all I got, guys. I'll go ahead and get up out of here, man. Oh, wait. Kenyon was saying something about the vision. I can't find it. But I think he was just talking about Najee's vision being a little questionable. Oh, there you go. He says, Sim, his ball vision isn't great. Najee needs to see the whole. Yeah, he definitely does. And Walter says, stop capping, Sim. Bell's vision was just above Stevie Wonder's, man. That boy Le'Veon Bell, though. The way his cuts, but sometimes he would see it before he even. Le'Veon Bell was special, man. I think people forget how special that kid was, because he left the Steelers. But man, oh man. Just special. Pure special. But that's my show, guys. We're going to wrap this thing. Appreciate all of y'all tuning in. Appreciate it. Like I said, man, my shows are going to be spotty for the next several weekends, but, family time. But I definitely will do them. It just won't be directly or, immediately following the game. But yeah, look forward. I'm going to put that in the air now. Let's look for the before play video. I think I will stream it Friday night sometime because, Saturday we have to go to Philly, for my son's tournament. But yeah, man, again, I always appreciate y'all tuning in. Before y'all go, if you haven't, do one of these or do all of them. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notification bell, and I'll add a fourth. Share the video. Like and share. That's the combo. That's the bundle. Like and share. And I shall appreciate you for that. But outside of that, guys, I'm going to tell you to stay healthy. Stay safe. God bless. Good night. Like always, thank you for tuning in to the latest episode of Terrible Towel Tuesday. I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.